All right, NFL playoffs. Everybody's excited. Everyone's fired up. Except for the 20 fan bases that aren't in the playoffs. But whatever. At least we can all focus on our playoff fantasy and gambling for the next 4 or 5 weeks. But anyway, playoffs that kick off tomorrow, Saturday, 4:30 Eastern. You get the Bills at Houston. It feels like Houston has played the opening wild card game every year for the last, 12 years now. I know that's obviously not entirely accurate, but for whatever reason, Houston just likes to get this opening Saturday wild card game. I don't know why the networks feel like they always got to do that, but whatever. I mean, here we go again. Hosting the Bills, and it just makes you wonder, like, if Houston would ever get to the Super Bowl, would they move the game to Saturday at 4:30 Eastern? It's just curious, but any event, Bills at Houston. These AFC games are toss-ups Saturday. The Bills, obviously their defense is strong. Their offense can move the ball, but I feel like if they get into a shootout, that's where they're vulnerable, and Houston can put points on the board. But their defense hasn't been what it's been, even though they're getting J.J. Watt back. That should at least get them a little fired up. I just think Houston's a slightly better team. They're getting the game at home. Houston lost in this spot last year against the Colts. I don't see them losing again 2 years in a row in this spot. But the Bills are going to give them a game, and it should be a good start to the weekend. But, it's a toss-up, but I'll take Houston on this one. And then, Saturday night, you got Tennessee going into New England. The writing looks like it's on the wall. Like, maybe this is finally it for the New England dynasty, and maybe that's true. But let's let it happen. Let's see it happen first before we get excited about this game. Now, again, dropping from the 2 to the 3, it was significant. Because they got to play the extra game now. They got to go to Kansas City if they win. And listen, we heard this all last year when New England slipped up late and they dropped the number 1 seed. And, New England's done, blah, 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 and, they ended up going on to win the Super Bowl. Now, again, going from 1 to 2, not the same thing as dropping from 2 to 3. And listen, everything is pointing toward this might be the end for New England. But until it happens, I'm not counting them out. Listen, I'm going to root for Tennessee in this game. It's going to be, even though New England's not been great this year, it's going to be a sudden jolt of fresh air should Tennessee win Saturday night. Because then, the feeling around the league and fans of the league will be like, oh, wow, New England's out. This is now really anybody's ball game. Because, again, even though New England has struggled this year, offense hasn't looked great, they're still New England, and until they're gone, they've got to be dealt with. Again, Tennessee's coming in. Ryan Tannehill has had a great year. Derrick Henry is league-leading rusher. He's a beast, obviously. This is a game that is set up for New England to lose. You got Mike Vrabel, former Patriot, coming in there as a coach. Belichick teams, for whatever reason, seem to struggle against his former players, former assistants. But here's the thing. Let me see Ryan Tannehill go in here and have a game in the playoffs in New England like he did in the regular season this year, okay? And then if that doesn't work and New England goes to Kansas City, let me see Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid beat New England when it counts. And if for some reason that doesn't work out, let me see Lamar Jackson be Lamar Jackson with a trip to Miami on the line. I know Baltimore beat him this year earlier, and I know Kansas City's beating them in the regular season as well. But let me see him do it in January, because until the clock hits triple zeros, and New England's got fewer points, I'm not buying into it. So I'm going to take New England to beat Tennessee. I wouldn't be surprised if Tennessee won the game, but until someone can knock the Patriots out, you can't count them out. Sunday you get the NFC games. You get Seattle's at Philly. Seattle hasn't looked good, or hasn't looked as good, I should say, the last couple of weeks. Philly's got a ton of injuries. I mean, congrats on winning the East. They fought through a lot of things, and of course they got the gift of Dallas playing like crap and going 8-8. But whatever, good for them. But I just think Seattle's got enough weapons, and Seattle has Russell Wilson. Because if this is a tight game, I trust Russell Wilson to make the plays in this type of a game versus having Carson Wentz with that depleted offense. It'd probably be a one-score game, even though on paper it probably shouldn't be. But all Seattle does is play one-score games. But I'll take Seattle to win that one. And then you get Minnesota at New Orleans, a rematch of the Minneapolis Miracle. Not going to need any miracles this time. The Saints are going to go in and take care of business. I think the Saints are the best team in the NFC, even though they're the 3. I think that they've got enough weapons on offense to hang with everybody. Their defense plays well when it needs to. They're not going to be scared going into Green Bay or going to San Francisco. And Minnesota, they're okay, but they've underachieved a little bit this year too. I mean, they made the playoffs, which is good, but I just feel like New Orleans is a better team. They're getting that game at home. Obviously they probably want a little bit of revenge for what happened 2 years ago, but I don't even think that's going to matter much. New Orleans will win that game, and then they move on. So there it is, the wild card weekend. Everybody enjoy themselves. We'll be watching the games and seeing what happens, and hopefully we'll win a little bit of money. All right, there you go, NFL wild card weekend.